While millions of people are competing for jobs in tech, finance, and AI, some of the biggest fortunes are quietly being built in places nobody talks about. So today we're counting down the 10 industries creating the most millionaires right now, and we'll show you the wealth machine behind each one of them. Welcome to Alux. Number 10, media and content. The wealth machine, owning distribution. Now, most people think that media creates millionaires through advertising revenue, but in reality, ads are often the smallest part of the wealth equation. The real asset being built is distribution. For most of history, distribution was incredibly expensive. If you wanted to reach millions of people, you needed to own a newspaper, a television network, or a publishing company. But the internet dramatically lowered that barrier, allowing pretty much anyone to build audiences at a fraction of the cost. You see, content itself isn't the product. Content is simply the tool used to acquire attention. The audience is the asset. Once someone owns attention at scale, they gain something every business wants: a low-cost way to reach customers. While traditional companies spend millions on advertising and customer acquisition, creators can launch products, services, memberships, software, events, or entire businesses directly to an audience that already knows and trusts them. This is why many of today's wealthiest creators make far more money from businesses than from content itself. The content attracts attention, but the audience becomes a privately owned distribution network that can be monetized repeatedly. Throughout history, people who controlled distribution became wealthy. The technology changed, but the principle didn't. Media continues creating millionaires because it allows ordinary people to own one of the most valuable assets in business: attention at scale. Number 9, energy and power. The wealth machine, owning what everyone needs. Now, throughout history, the people who owned the roads, they became wealthy. Today, some of the biggest fortunes are being built by owning the power lines beneath the digital economy. The AI boom is creating a lot of technology winners, but it's also creating an enormous surge in energy demand. Every AI model, every cloud service, every chatbot response, and every data center ultimately runs on electricity. According to the International Energy Agency, electricity demand from data centers surged 17% in 2025 alone, while global electricity demand grew just 3%. By 2030, data centers are expected to consume roughly as much electricity as Japan does today. Everybody is racing to build data centers. Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta, OpenAI, and hundreds of smaller players are pouring billions into AI infrastructure. But none of these facilities can operate without a steady supply of power, and that's where the wealth machine appears. The biggest fortunes in energy aren't built by selling electricity 1 kilowatt at a time. No, they're built by owning the infrastructure that produces, transports, and distributes that electricity. Power plants, transmission networks, utility companies, pipelines, and renewable energy products can generate cash flow for decades once they're built. Unlike most industries, energy benefits from something incredibly rare: demand that is almost impossible to avoid. As more of the economy moves online and AI becomes more powerful, the world still needs more electricity, not less. Number 8, consumer brands. The wealth machine, owning the customer instead of the factory. 100 years ago, people who became rich were usually the ones who owned the factories. Factories were expensive to build, difficult to operate, and almost impossible to replicate. If you could manufacture steel, cars, textiles, or consumer goods at scale, you had a massive advantage over everyone else. Today, almost anyone can find a factory. Manufacturing has become cheaper, faster, and more accessible than ever. The real challenge is no longer making the product. No, the challenge is convincing people to buy your version of it. That's why some of the world's most valuable companies own surprisingly few factories. Nike doesn't manufacture most of its shoes. Apple doesn't build most of its iPhones. Even luxury giants like LVMH derive much of their value not from production capacity, but from the brands they've built over decades. The product became a commodity. The customer did not. And this shift created a new wealth machine. Instead of owning production, the biggest winners increasingly own demand. They own the relationship with the customer. They own the trust. They own the recognition. They own the ability to charge more for essentially the same product. Number 7, luxury and retail. The wealth machine, selling identity. Now, once people's basic needs are met, they start buying signals, and that has been true throughout history. A luxury product communicates success, taste, status, belonging, or exclusivity. The purchase becomes less about utility and more about what it says about the owner. This creates one of the most profitable wealth machines in the world: artificial scarcity. Most businesses try to maximize supply. Luxury brands often do the opposite. They deliberately limit access to make ownership feel more special. Rolex produces over 1 million watches every year, yet customers regularly spend months or even years on waiting lists for certain models. Do you think Rolex couldn't make more watches? Of course they could, but if every customer could walk into a store and buy any model they wanted, part of that appeal would disappear. The waiting list is a part of the product. Scarcity creates exclusivity. Exclusivity creates status. Status creates pricing power. Hermes uses the same strategy with the Birkin bag. Ferrari has done it with limited production cars. The goal isn't to satisfy every customer. No, the goal is to maintain the feeling that ownership is earned, not simply purchased. The wealth machine isn't making watches, handbags, or sports cars. It's controlling access to status. Number 6, manufacturing and industrials. Wealth machine becoming the standard. Now, most people think manufacturing is about making products. The real money comes from becoming the default choice inside an industry. Think about companies like Caterpillar, John Deere, Siemens, Schneider Electric, Honeywell, Bosch, or thousands of industrial suppliers you've never heard of. A factory can switch coffee brands overnight. It cannot easily switch the machinery running its entire operation. Once a company becomes embedded in how other businesses operate, customers stop buying a product and start buying reliability. Replacing a supplier means retraining workers, rewiring procedures, passing new safety certifications, risking downtime, and potentially disrupting millions of dollars worth of production. At that point, price becomes less important than trust. The best industrial companies spend decades building this kind of position. Their products become industry standards. Engineers learn them, operators trust them, customers design entire facilities around them. The result is a business with recurring demand, high switching costs, and very little competition. The wealth machine isn't manufacturing, it's becoming so deeply integrated to your customer's business that replacing you feels way riskier than staying with you. Number 5. Healthcare. The wealth machine getting paid by a third party. Now, most businesses have a simple transaction. The customer wants something, and the customer pays for it. But healthcare works differently. In many cases, the patient receives the service, but somebody else pays most of the bill. An insurance company, an employer, a government program covers the cost. This changes the economics completely. When people spend their own money, they compare prices. They shop around, they look for alternatives. But when somebody else is paying, the decision becomes less about cost and more about access, trust, convenience, and outcomes. That's why healthcare has become one of the largest industries in the world. In the US alone, healthcare spending exceeds $5 trillion annually, representing nearly 18% of the entire economy. This is also why private equity firms have invested hundreds of billions of dollars into healthcare. They recognized that healthcare isn't just a service business. It's a fragmented industry that can be consolidated, standardized, and scaled. Number 4, real estate. The wealth machine using other people's money. Now, most industries require you to use your own capital to grow. Real estate allows you to build wealth using somebody else's cash. And that's what makes it one of the most effective millionaire-producing machines in history. Most people spend their lives trying to eliminate debt. But real estate investors spend their lives learning how to use it. That's because real estate allows people to control assets that are much larger than their own net worth. A person with $100,000 might be able to buy a $500,000 property. Someone with $1 million can often control assets worth several times that amount. Few industries offer that kind of amplification. The property might generate rent every month. The tenant helps you pay down that loan. Over time, inflation pushes rents higher, the loan balance falls, and the property itself might appreciate in value. The owner benefits from all three at once. Then comes the move that built countless real estate fortunes: refinancing. Instead of selling the property, investors borrow against the increased value and use that capital to acquire another property. One building becomes two becomes five becomes 20. This is why real estate has produced so many millionaires over the last century. Number 3, technology and software. The wealth machine, winner take most economics. Now, most industries have natural limits, right? The best restaurant in town doesn't serve everyone. The best dentist doesn't treat every patient. The best hotel doesn't host every traveler. But technology is different. When software becomes the default choice, it often becomes exponentially more valuable as more people use it. Businesses run on Microsoft Office. Designers build their careers around Adobe. Companies organize entire workflows around Salesforce. This video right here is being edited with Adobe software on a PC that runs on Windows. Once software becomes embedded into how people work, switching becomes painful, which is why many technology companies enjoy years, sometimes decades of recurring revenue. Number 2, finance and investments. Wealth machine, making money before anything gets built. Now, finance is the industry that essentially profits from everyone else's ambition. Every new factory, software company, hospital network, apartment complex, or energy project needs funding before it can grow. The people who control that funding gain access to opportunities across the entire economy, rather than being limited to a single corner of it. Unlike most industries, finance isn't tied to a single sector. A real estate developer only benefits from real estate. A software founder only benefits from software. Someone managing capital can participate in all of them simultaneously, shifting money toward whichever opportunity looks most attractive at that moment. This creates a fascinating dynamic. While entrepreneurs spend years building companies, financiers spend their time identifying which companies are worth backing. When they're right, they don't just benefit from one success, no, they can benefit from dozens or even hundreds of successes at the same time. And number 1, local service businesses. The wealth machine, owning the problems that never go away. If you want to know where millionaires are being created, don't look at what people are talking about. Over the last decade, private equity firms have been quietly spending hundreds of billions of dollars acquiring HVAC companies, plumbing businesses, roofing contractors, pest control operators, landscaping firms, car washes, storage facilities, waste management companies, and dozens of other businesses that most people would consider very boring. These businesses, though, they solve problems that nobody can ignore. When your air conditioning dies in the middle of July, you don't spend 3 weeks researching alternatives. When a pipe bursts, you don't wait for a better price next month. When a commercial building needs electrical work, somebody gets called immediately. That creates something investors love: recurring demand. The average American homeowner spends thousands of dollars every year maintaining their property, and there are more than 85 million owner-occupied homes in the U.S. alone. Every one of those homes represents a future stream of repairs, maintenance, upgrades, inspections, replacements, and emergency calls. What's even more interesting is that most of these industries remain fragmented. Unlike technology, where a few giant companies dominate the market, local services are often made up of thousands of small operators. In roofing, plumbing, HVAC, and landscaping, the largest companies frequently control only a tiny percentage of the total market. The funny part is that nobody brags about these businesses. There are countless podcasts about startups. Almost nobody makes documentaries about a septic tank company. Yet, many of the people becoming millionaires today are not building the future, they're fixing the present. And inside the Alux app, we've got lessons and collections dedicated to this exact idea: building or acquiring boring businesses to make bank, and going into private equity. You can download the app for free at Alux.com/app and get started with a free 7-day trial. But, in most of our community, they say the app pays for itself in the first week alone. So if you're ready to lock it in and commit to a 1-year transformation of your business and life, scan this QR code or follow the link in the description for 25% off your membership. All right, Alexer, that's a wrap for today. We'll see you back here next time. Until then, take care.